Good morning, Quasar Markets Live. It looks like Twitter/X is working today. Everything didn't delay here on the open. BigBeat, how are you doing today, my friend?
Good. I mean, look, yesterday was the sell-off day. Look, I banged on the desk for the first time in a few years now. Capitulation has happened. The flush has happened. Yeah, can the market go down a little more? Sure, but I don't think so. I bought yesterday. I said it yesterday on Wolf Financial that the end is near and to buy, and I'm
The
calling
end of the drop is here, you should say. The
I'm
end
calling
is
the
near
bottom.
is not. We don't want to start a show with the end is near, please.
I called the bottom. I think this is it. I think you can dip your toe back in the water. I'm not. We know we don't tell anybody what to do here, or buy or sell, but that's it. Look, the capitulation happened. The barn door got slammed, and here we are. So to me, I think this is it. I'm not. Of course, we don't tell anybody what to buy or sell. We don't do that here, but I can tell you what I did, and that's buy. I got really strong conviction here yesterday, and like I said, what's for Wolf Financial, we can play that a little bit later. I said buy the dip. We're here. The capitulation happened. I've called the bottom. I know it. I get it. Wall Street FinTwits are going to say, don't call the bottom. Don't say buy the freaking dip. That's just for people who just are scared. But that's a common theme right now in the markets, that everybody's scared and nervous. And look, the drop was very drastic when you have a president saying, I'm not watching the market, or I'm more interested in business than I am in the stock market. Mr. President, business is the stock market, believe it or not. We do base our investments on what the market, what the companies are doing. So I don't know. That's kind of a silly thing to say. And for him to say that I'm not watching the market, there is somebody that's constantly watching the market for him. Thing here. So look, I expect some news, something to come out today. People are going, oh, what's the catalyst? What's the catalyst that pushes back up? How are we going to get there? We never know. Look, there's always a million things out there. We understand that. But this sell-off, and we need it. Look, you need a sell-off like this in order to go higher. You can't go higher unless you have some pullbacks. There are always scared people. And I looked at the numbers for zero DTEs, and they were out. I mean, it's astronomical at this point. I mean, it's ridiculous. And a lot of people got hurt. So here it is. So you know what? I'm not scared.
Yeah, I am still in the cautiously optimistic camp there, where I do think what's nice is we're not seeing the crazy pre-market 10% up, 10% down across the board like we saw yesterday.
Right.
That just showed that volatility. We're seeing a little bit more of tighter spreads here, things up or down a couple of percentage points in general. There, as you've mentioned to me, advanced decline sitting around 1600 to the positive. So it should open up at least flat, if not up from there. So that should give us maybe a little bit of a boost. Tick has been coming down a little bit here over the last half hour or so, when negative about 114. SPY has gone slightly negative. QQQ, the NASDAQ still slightly up. Steve, big winner this so far today is Southwest, and it's funny because it's one of those things where good for the stockholders. In my opinion, bad for those of us that used to like to fly Southwest. They have finalized sort of their plans around. We knew that they were going to start to have seats, right? That they weren't going to have the mad dash to get lined up. But what they've also announced is effective for bookings made on or after May 28th of this year, no longer bags fly free.
Yeah, look, I saw several articles this morning. Breeze Airlines, Spirit Airlines. These are the Frontier Airlines. These are all of the airlines you fly when you just want to go on your weekend trip, and you don't care if you die or not, right? Look, it's very simple. The airlines are changing, right? You just saw United Airlines, UAL, talk about that there are some issues out there for second quarter. You're hearing, but when you see Spirit, Frontier, and those companies saying, look, we're going to readdress where we go. Okay, so Spirit added a whole bunch of new places to go to, released Mexico, which I thought was interesting. There was a lot of Spirit Airlines going to Mexico. There's no longer going to San Juan, no longer going. You saw Breeze increasing their list. When you see Southwest Airlines, their biggest idea is to now charge you for baggage. you got problems, right? As my mom used to say, in business, if you're in trouble, you always know a business in trouble because they have to increase their hours they're open, cut back on firing employees, working the ones that are there harder. That's how you know a company's in trouble. So is the airlines in trouble? No, they've had a pretty good run over the last 3 months, but I'm not too concerned about this. We need airlines to win in order for us to go around the world, right? So if they're losing money, then they're not going. We have less people working. It's a whole thing. I do expect in this business to see AI really, really up in the game here, making the routes quicker, smoother, easier for us, and making our side, the buyers of the tickets, right, to make it easier to get those tickets. Hey, I want to go to XYZ. Who was the cheapest? I don't have to go play tour guide and travel agent. Listen, I'll be honest, travel agent is sort of thing of the past, and probably in the next 3 years, there'll be no need for travel agents, right? The machines, the AI agents will do it for you. And so now you've got a whole new era of airline travel. What do you mean, BigBeat? Well, in the 60s, when airline travel started, you called up a pinpoint of a place, you picked the phone up, you called them, and they called you back and said, I got you a plane ticket. In the 70s, you called them, they booked it right there with you. In the 80s, they would book it, try to find you a better one. You hired a travel agent to help you. In the 90s, you found websites, and you had new companies like Expedia and things like that coming out. In 2000, Google helped you find better in 2010. So there's a progression here. And so this progression, I think, is just the next level of progression of how we book tickets. And it's going to be a difference. People don't want to pay baggage fees. I'm the first one because I have a lot of baggage because I move a lot, right? I travel a lot. So I don't like it. But if it's keeping them in business so that I can get to where I need to go, then I'm okay with it. It is going to hurt the airline industry for a little bit. But like everything else, and then, of course, with inflation, we're going to accept it. So look, I don't have a problem with that. I have a friend that's a big investor, and his rule number one is I never buy airlines. So I kind of like that rule. I stay away from the airlines myself, but they've had a good run. To me, I'm not a big fan. Now, I will say all of that with one thing in mind. I do still believe in Dow theory. So Dow theory says if transportation stocks are up, then the market's up. The transportation is usually the first ones to get hit, right? Think of it like FedEx, or think of it like moving around. The first thing we cut out is travel. So if that's being cut out, then we know it. And you have a great chart of Delta Airlines up here showing exactly what the markets were doing, but they knew it before, right? Warren Buffett knew it because he cut it. So I get it, but I'm not scared. I think we're okay.
So yeah, I do have Delta up. They have revised their first quarter 2025 outlook, citing reduced consumer and corporate confidence amid economic uncertainty. They're now projecting revenue growth only at 3 to 4%, half as much as before. They were looking at 7 to 9%, which had them really jump up here. The gap that you saw on beginning of January was when they made that original news. So I will point out that this is a pretty quick move, from them. And then you have American Airlines and United that would also both reduce their first quarter guidance due to softness in domestic demand. And they're down 3.8 and 5% also. So airlines definitely getting hit pretty hard across the board, except for Southwest, who by actually doing what stockholders, and remember, a lot of the stuff was pushed forward by Elliott Management, the changes that Southwest is making. People didn't like the fact that the stockholders didn't like the fact that there was no add-ons. Once you bought your Southwest seat, they had all the money you were going to give them. And what we've found is people are willing the day of travel to pay to get a little bit of a better boarding position, to get, another bag put on, all those type of things. So it has been, again, love the main winner here, up 11.79% so far. One of the big winners on the S&P. Second biggest winner so far is Elevance Health.
Before you do that, I think the big question there is, and when you look at it from the perspective of airline travel, right? Airline travel makes most of their money not on people going to vacation. They make most of their money on business travel, right? So if you're going to look at those companies, I think that the one that you need to look at the most, and if you want to keep an eye on business travel, is United Airlines, right? UAL. I think that's the one that you really need to pay attention to, because they are the stalwarts in the business. And I like I said yesterday, I banged the table. I think this is this is it. Capitulation is in. Everything's good. if you were looking to buy an airline stock, this is it, right? I mean, if I don't, United Airlines is the stalwart of business travel, especially with international business travel, especially with Star Alliance. That's their big one because they have lots of companies within Star Alliance, the loyalty program. So this is the one that I would keep an eye on here. And you can see it's up to almost 3% today on that bounce. I get the 200-day and 50-day there. I get it. But to me, I think UAL is the one you need to keep on your watch list, your radar, if that's the stocks that you're looking to buy as in the airlines industry.
Sounds good. Other ones down today, VZ, Verizon down about 5.46% here this morning. So again, another one getting hit pretty hard here. Communications sector. Wasn't really any themes that I could see this morning where anything as a theme was up or down together. Chips was mostly seeing some rise, but quite honestly, well, now we're seeing it go back green. The Mag 7 was all green about an hour ago. Now we only see Nvidia at 5 basis points and Tesla at 8 basis points.
I'll give you a theme. You just said it. Tesla, Elon Musk at 222. The world's starting to hate Elon, right? The bumper stickers are going around. I bought my Tesla before Elon went crazy. Look, I get it. Look, he's working his butt off, doing so many things. He needs to get back to basics. I do like Tesla here. Okay. I've been negative on Tesla for a while now, as everybody knows here, because of several issues. And look, Starlink is looking better and better. I saw an article this morning that where Elon is lobbying the government, the federal government, not to let any other Starlink types to get out there in the what we call past the Carmack line, right? The Kármán line where the satellites go. Because he wants to have a monopoly on it, right? I went to the Panama Canal last week, and I can tell you every boat going to the Panama Canal had Starlink, right? Because the speed of it. So I don't think that that's going to stop. And I think that if you liked Tesla at 500, you sure as heck like it at 222, right? And I think that's where we were building the base last year. And of course, the election happened, and boom. So the election money is off. If you're looking as a value play now, I think Tesla's a lot better play now. And I'm saying that now because I think Tesla could turn around and go back up. At some point, he's going to leave the administration and leave Doge. And it will happen sooner than we think. And when that happens, I think he'll get back to basics and get back to business. And I think that will start pushing the stock up again.
Okay. So again, as we get ready here, with ticks negative about 150, we've seen the Qs move a little bit further to the downside, now down about 6 basis points so far. Bitcoin struggling to stay above 80,000 so far. Gold holding right above 2,900, made a nice little move up yesterday. Your silver made a real nice move, Steve, up 1.24% to 32.45. Oil, not much of a move there, and a lot of talks that oil might actually drop in price from the 66 level with everything going on. Steve, you think that actually could happen?
It could happen. I will say this much. The oil prices are getting a little too cheap. The drillers are done. I mean, if the drillers aren't going to drill at $66 a barrel, right? Because there's plenty of oil out there. They don't need to spend money to get more oil. They've got plenty of oil, right? So what I think here is, in this situation, we might be basing on a bottom. Now, if you there are 3 things to tell you when a recession happens, right? When you have, technically a recession is 2 specific times when in quarters where we have negative growth. I get all of that. But one of the biggest tick indicators of recession is oil price. That means less people are moving around the country. There's less need for lipstick. There's less need for everything. And that's what petroleum products do, right? So when oil prices come down, that's when you know that it's a good sign of a recession. Are we in recession pricing for oil? No. I am looking for backwardation within the futures world. I can explain that later to you. But I see this right now happening where the price of oil in the future is actually lower than the price of futures in the spot. That's a problem. That's a recession, right? That's when you can start to see, okay, the big bad R word's happening. But right now, no. But I do think it gets back over 70 on any talks of OPEC cutting or any cuts in production or
Well,
any.
OPEC has announced that they're actually increasing production starting in April.
They are, but they are they're not the Fed. They will cut. They will produce
They
more.
change decisions in a matter
They
of
do it
seconds.
on the whim of a fart, dude. And you know what? And you can see that in the charts several times when you have problems like that. And look, during COVID, you saw negative pricing on oil. I had a great time with that, right? I bought oil in the negative and sold it the positive. We're not seeing that right now, right? So I think that what we're going to see next is probably a back to normal kind of thing. If you add linear regression to oil pricing, I think you'll see what I see. If you pull up a 5-year chart on oil, I think you'll definitely see. Let's pull that up. Yeah, there you go. 5-year chart. There you go. See what I'm seeing? Right. And I think that's what you're seeing. You're seeing all the way back to 2021. We're back in the same times. We're consolidating, quote consolidating. I think this is it, right? I think this is where we'll be. Probably push back to $70 a barrel. That's where oil companies are happy. They're not happy. Listen, they're not happy at $120 a barrel because they know it doesn't last very long. It's a waste. They want consistency. They want high prices, and they want to keep business. And they want to keep drilling. They want to keep building. They can't do it at 120. They can't do it at 30. So they like it in that it's like Goldilocks. We call it the Goldilocks zone is $70 a barrel. And so this is where it's at, and I like it here.
Another stock getting beat up here today is Kohl's on their poor earnings. We've talked about it. We don't who shops at Kohl's anymore, but down another 13.99% here after their earnings. Did have a headline. I thought there it is. And their net sales decreased by 5% and 7%, and earnings came in below estimates here. 1036. I mean, this chart just keeps on going down. But it does worry me about the retailer. Kohl's. Dick's was another one that had earnings today. DKS. And they're down about 1.34% on their earnings. And I'll point out that even the sort of the best of the best when it comes to retail has talked about the big shift, Steve. I think we're seeing where, this credit crunch is definitely hitting middle America without a doubt, because you had Costco talk about how they had some issues at the big box level. You're seeing the Dick's have bad results. Kohl's, pretty much all of the retailers across the board have hit bad earnings.
I will say this much.
And change their tune dramatically from their Q4, guidance and talks.
I mean, yeah, you're seeing a lot of people pulling back their spend. I understand that, but they will spend money to go outside. They will spend money to play sports, right? Sports is still pretty strong. If you don't think so, just go look at FanDuel and those companies. They're doing quite well in the gambling. So I do see that, especially now that we're getting into mid-March, April, May, June, July, August. They're going to go camping. They're going to Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy Sports, AO. I think that those companies will do very well. And I will tell you this much. This new Nike shoe, D&8, I've been talked about it for a while. It's very popular. It's selling out already. And if you can't go, you got to go to Foot Locker. You got to go to DKS. You got to go to these places to get these shoes, and they're going to get a whole bunch. So I don't see that being the case, right? Look.
Can't you get them right off that sneaker app that you love so much?
Yes, I mean I love it.
I don't need to go to my retailer.
Yeah, you can go to the apps, you can go to Nike, but you know what you can't do? You can't try it on, right? You can try it on, then you send it back, and that's a pain in the butt, right? And people hate that. They're getting past that right now, right? I think what they're seeing now is people just, I want to feel, touch things again, right? They're not buying them at the store sometimes, right? They're going to the store, looking at it, trying it on, then going home and buying it on Amazon or on those apps. I get that. But I think what you're seeing is when they come in there, if you go through the lines of Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy Sports, you're seeing these long, snaky lines where they're making you pick up 10 things. Oh, I need some bubble gum. Oh, I need this, or I need shoelaces, right?
Every store is very good at that. I will tell you that.
And they're getting better at it, right? Especially when they have AI involved, when they have all those things. So that's what I'm saying. retailers is hurting right now, but I think retail is getting interesting. We talked about this the other day, right? Bed Bath & Beyond and Container Store are two companies that went bankrupt, right? But what are they doing? They're getting back together, and boom, they're creating a new store, which I think is great, right? I like Container Store and I like Bed Bath & Beyond. I thought both of them were laid out terribly. Put them together. Hey, I can pick up my new towels and then I can put it into a container, right? You look at it from the perspective of, all these companies are coming together to create a better store, a better experience. I think that's the key. So we're doing Quasar Markets, right? We're taking the best of the brands, putting them in one place, right? That's the answer. But people want that, right? They're tired of everybody going alone, right? And I think that's what you're seeing right now. And I look for those companies. You want to get a good example of that? How about this one? CVS, right? CVS is starting to create new stores, right? Where they're getting rid of the candies and the other things. They're just going to say pharmacy stuff. Well, gosh, when I go to the pharmacy, it's a line to get to the pharmacy, right? Walgreens Boots Alliance, WBA, is being taken private, right? Yep. Why? Because they're not managing the stores correctly. So guess what? You put a Walgreens and a CVS together and Dwayne Reed together and all those companies, you're going to have one big pharmacy, right? You're going to have the Amazon of pharmacies, and you're going to walk in and get it, right? You're not even going to go anywhere else. So this is what I've been talking about. You lower the rates for cheap money, you're going to see mergers and acquisitions, and you're going to see a different landscape of retail. And I would tell people the same thing. If you want to find out, go to your Perplexity or ChatGPT, go to Quasar Markets and start doing that homework about what companies are doing that, and you're going to find a much better situation. And I think you're right. You know what? You actually hit the nail on the head right there with Oracle. Those companies, Salesforce, Oracle, they're the ones going to tell them, hey, look, here's the best way to lay out this, right? Here's a better store layout through AI. And those are the companies that are going to do well. Just because you have AI in your company does not mean you're going to do well. It means that you're staying on the forefront of technology, but you need to be able to incorporate that. And as they do that, you're going to see lots of companies change the way that we interact with them, whether that's online or actually in the store.
Yeah. Oracle is down here about 3%, down about 4% last night too. After bad earnings here, they had a miss on EPS and revenue. Are you a buyer of Oracle at these sort of levels here, Steve?
Not yet.
144 used to be got up as high as 198.31.
Yeah, no, I think Oracle needs to pull back just a little bit. They're not quite. The selling there is not quite done. They have institutional selling that didn't quite hit there. Yeah, and you just hit the nail on the head again. I just think I said this is Apple, right? I mean, look, this is exactly right. What's Apple doing? Well, they are innovating. They told us that they're going to have a whole new lineup of software, right? They're going to completely wipe away all the software they have on your system and upgrade icons and upgrade how we interact with our machines, right? That's innovation. I've been screaming and beating the table that the Apple isn't innovating. Well, guess what? Now they are. So I think that this is where we're going. NVIDIA, another one, right? And you think NVIDIA is going to go away? I mean, I'm still long. I haven't changed my thesis on NVIDIA. Go try to find the RTX chipset. Can't. Right? Palantir's another one. Now, listen, Palantir, for me, I think Palantir was a situation where I like it in 30. I didn't like it so much over 100, right? It made too much of a run. But
back at 76.38
interesting. Now. That's right. It's getting interesting, right? Because they still have the government contracts. So I'm okay with it, right? These are interesting, very interesting plays you're pulling up here. Yeah, these are things that I'm more interested in than, say, like a Delta Airlines, right? I'm more interested in technology in the next level because that's what people are buying and wanting to make their life easier. People don't mind spending money. Even in bad times, they'll spend money if it makes their life a little bit easier. Whether that's alcohol making their life a little bit easier for a little bit, whether that's new pair of shoes to make their life feel just a little bit better, going to Disney parks to make themselves feel just a little bit better. The same thing here. But guess what?
Drink a bottle of bourbon just to make it feel a little bit better. Buy your Brown Foreman.
That's right. And you think about it, look, hey kids, you know what? Look, the world's not so great. Let's go see Mickey Mouse, right? Look, kids, the world's not good. Dad's going to go have a drink, right? These are real life situations where these are the stocks that I like to invest in, right? Let's get back to basics. Peter Lynch's theory If you like it, you're going to buy it, right? Invest in what you know. That's what he's always said. And you know what? When in days like this, like yesterday, these are the times you have your grocery bags of stocks going, you know what? I like it. I don't care, BigBeat. The stock may fall a little bit farther. You're right. But you know what? I like what they're doing, and it will turn around, and it'll be okay. You know, the president is saying something very interesting, and I think a lot of people are missing some of the points he's making. Yes, you're going to feel some pain, and yes, it's going to happen. It sucks. Listen, you lived on a sugar high for too long, and I'm going to have to break it up a little bit. And most people here know I'm not a fan, or I don't like or dislike the president of any presidents. I'm not a fan of any president, to be honest with you. I think they're all self-serving, to be honest with you, which this is no different, this president. But I do think he has something in his mind of a plan. Does he have a physical plan? We know the answer is no. But we do know he knows where he wants to go with this. He's the Fed. I want lower rates. Okay, if you're not going to lower rates, God damn it, I'll blow up the market, and this is what we'll do. And he did it, right? Rates are coming down. So right now the 10 years at 4.228. Wasn't too long ago. We're worried about 5% on 10-year. So
without a doubt. Yeah.
Right. So here we go. We might see a tick up in housing. You want to see people start going to the banks and borrow money. That's when I want to know, because they're borrowing money. They're not borrowing money to go to Disney World. They're borrowing money to go bigger ticket items like cars and houses. So that's how you're going to know, right? That's how you're going to know that we're not quite slipping into recession. Now, quite frankly, I got berated over the last 3 months because I said the S word, stagflation. Well, guess what? Now everybody's talking about stagflation. If everybody's talking about stagflation, then I don't think we're going to hit it, right? People ask me, how do we know the bottom's in? Well, honestly, you won't even know it. By the time we know it, it'll be too late, right? That's why investors like myself are okay with knife catching. I know that's not great for retail. It's not great for institutions who have rules based, but I like knife catching, right? We know that there are certain areas where liquidity is. I was asked this yesterday. How do you know when to catch the knife? Go find liquidity. If anybody hears me say anything about anything, I want everybody to understand one thing about the market. The market does not care about you. It is a mechanical bull. It does not care about you, okay? The market is about one thing and one thing only. It is the path of least resistance. What is easier? Is it easier to go up, or is it easier to go down? And we've already seen the down. It was very easy to go down. It was stairs up and elevator down. We've been talking about this, and here it is. Now I'm saying the opposite. Now it's okay. I'm saying dip toes in it, but I'm not telling you whether to buy or sell. But I'm saying I like this market. I think that the selling, I think that it's done. Is there money out there? Nope. I think a lot of people don't really have money to buy, and we're hearing that now. Even Kevin Hassett, the NEC director, was like, second quarter might be a little tough, right? But that's okay, right? And it might not be. It might change, right? People may feel better about what's going on and start to buy back in. Bitcoin, if you told me Bitcoin, if it was 100,000, why do people love Bitcoin at 100,000 and hate it at 76,000?
Yeah, I'll never get that. It's on all of them, and that's where, like someone might say, well, the same about Tesla or the others, but with companies, you can have feelings, and with a commodity, there's not really a feeling.
Talking about feelings? How about the breakfast trade? How about orange juice, right? Orange juice
go through the roof.
Don't.
I'll tell you what's an interesting one here. If you're looking at dip toes too, Broadcom looks pretty good on this pullback, filled the gap up now, back where it's sort of consolidated. Could be one in the chip sector. I mean, things are in pretty good setups. Overall, we looked at the Mag 7 a lot yesterday. I've got them all marked up, and everything's sort of in liquidity zones. You're a little quicker to the trigger than me. I'm going to wait to see him clear back out of some of these liquidity zones before I get in. But they're all ready to go. They're all sort of in spots.
I mean, look at Tesla. Tesla's up now $3 now. It was only up $1. Now we're up $3 now. It could go higher here. I think Tesla is finally in that buy range down there. I like Tesla. If you like Tesla at 250 and 300, you're definitely liking at 225. Right? I mean, if you liked it back,
that's one of the tougher one, because I think people are sour on Musk. All we hear is the negative. There is that And does it actually, you talked a lot about Starlink, but I would say, man, that's why EchoStar and these other ones are taking off, is that other country, whether he has enough sway in the US to get them to stop allowing other satellites, he can't stop it overseas. And people are pissed. So
They
yeah,
are, but I mean, the quality of Starlink, EchoStar has a lot to catch up to. I agree with
they'd have
you.
to deploy a lot of satellites to
But
catch up.
let me
There's
ask
no
you this
doubt. Same
question.
thing. EBIT out of Israel is another company that's big in that.
But how are you gonna get that? How are you gonna get EchoStar up in the air if he controls all of NASA? We're about to open here now. We're opening now here now. So here we go. I like this. I like this market. 224.81 on Tesla. 225. I think it was higher. Well, VIX is not moving. 2806. As most of you know, I bought puts on the VIX for the end of April. I'm not giving all the numbers out there, but I am buying VIX puts. There's a couple of reasons why I did that, by the way. VXX. I'll tell you why, and it's because we're coming up to March Madness, and people watch March Madness basketball, and the markets will slow down, and that volatility will slow down, and people won't watch the markets during this time. Also, I think April is always a good time for the market, so I think the VIX will start to come back. I think for me, it's an easy way. 226 now in Tesla. That's it. I thought that was the place. I thought that was good.
Yep, Mag 7 is bouncing back here nicely. Like I said, at 8 a.m. they were all up. At 9 a.m. they were all down. Now outside of Apple, all of them back in the green here. So we are seeing a little bit of buying happen here nicely to start us off. Tick moving up also. Advanced decline actually went down on the open, but stayed above 1,000 here. So that's good to see. Bitcoin back above 81. So the first moves everywhere, though. This is where I get nervous because the first moves across everything is to the green.
I don't really care. There's this theory and craziness that only trade the first half hour, first 10 minutes of the market. Don't trade the rest of it. That's silliness. The market does not stop, right? The market doesn't sleep, and it's about to go 24/5 soon, right? I wouldn't. Yeah. The market's
QQQ is moving more to the downside now. 20 basis to the downside. SPY's now 25 basis points down. Dow Jones down 21 basis points. So we'll see if we can get something to spark us to the upside here. But that early move to the upside saw a double cap on the Dow and now to the downside.
I'm not scared. Look, there's going to be a little profit taking because we did see some bounce off the NQ last night. When I called that, buy that dip, we saw a 400-point move in NASDAQ. I like that a lot. And of course, I think I've still got the bottom in. No problems there. I'm not worried about it. Look, people are just nervous. People are scared. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-doo. And I like scared money. I mean, I've said this a million times. I love scared money. I put scared money in my pocket, right? Don't get scared here. That's what I'm saying. Don't get scared. There are things that are in this system here that are not broken. Things haven't changed. Technology is still moving. In fact, I would say technology is moving faster than ever in history, especially with AI. And I think that's the key. But I think stocks got a little overpricey. Palantir way out of whack, right? Could come right back up with all these contracts, right? Palantir can get even bigger contracts, especially with now that Elon's in the driver's seat over there. So we're not seeing that right now. Advanced decline now slipping here a bit, but I'm not too worried about it. I get it.
The Spider Select funds here, the 11 sectors of the S&P. Right now, energy leading the way up about 20 basis points. The material sector slightly positive at 3 basis points, and real estate also to the upside. Biggest loser on the day so far looks to be communication sector. So communication is down the most out of the sectors right now. As Steve just said, tick is slightly negative. Advanced decline is moving towards neutral here now, so only up 380. So we are seeing a little bit of a slide across the board here.
I'm just reading now that the Russian federal government recorded a budget deficit of roughly 2.7 trillion rubles in the first 2 months, 2025. The pressure is now on Putin to get this done. looks like Ukraine is going to cede some land to Russia, so he can claim good. The United States comes in, gets a mineral deal. They look good. Ukraine gets to save face, rebuild. We come in there, rebuild. All of a sudden, everybody's happy, and the world goes back to normal in that area, somewhat normal, right? It sucks because
and that could be the catalyst that turns things around. We do have, I know there's talks in Saudi Arabia, talks in the Ukraine, so there are some talks going that could get us out of some of those issues for sure.
Yeah, and here we are, Tesla back to 224 already. I mean, I'm not nervous about this, right? There's just we're about to go negative on the advanced decline line. I don't like that too much. 28.75 now on the VIX. My eye, I haven't put the VIX on my screens in a long time. By the way, if your screens look the exact same thing as it did 2 months ago, you're definitely way behind them. You need to make sure you have some of these things that both myself here and Hondo are talking about. You need to have the volatility index on your system, right? You need to have it. You need to have it somewhere clearly in your face. You need to have the dollar, the Dixie. You need to have the oil prices. You need to have silver and gold prices in front of you so that you get a better idea. You need to have the 10-year in front of you. Why? Because you need to know where that money's moving to. If money's moving out of one asset class, where's it going next? Exactly, right? And you'll have a better, clearer picture of where the market's going before it goes there, right? You need to create this, like I do, create a 227 on Tesla. Did you get scared? I didn't get scared, right? We're pushing up. I think this is exactly what I'm saying. I'm not scared in this market. I think this is where you pound the table and say, you know what? These things are exactly what you've been looking for. If you liked it at 250, you're liking it at 222. Now it's 228 now. So congratulations if you listen to us on the show, right? You're up 4% right now, right? I think that's the key to this. If you bought options, you're way up 229 now on Tesla, right? I definitely want to make sure that people understand this is how you trade. You find these mispriced pricing, right? It's the path of least resistance. You saw where Tesla was building it up 229.25 now, right? Here you go. You're seeing it. You're seeing it live on the show. People,
moving up nicely,
right? So I think when you look at this, you just talked about it a few seconds ago. The Mag 7 was all in the red. Now it's all in the green, right? Because people, dumb money is not paying attention, right? They're scared, and guess who's buying? You just gave J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs a whole bunch of opportunities, and they loved it. They're buying 229.50 now. Are you listening? I think that's the key here, and I think what we've done, we're about to hit 230 here. I think we'll hit 230 pretty soon here, but just about to do it. There it is, 229.81. We're about to hit it. I don't know how else to help. To say, look, this is what the market's doing. Right there, it is, 229.82 again. It's struggling there, but grocery list.
There it goes. It just broke the standard deviation.
230.06. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So I have tick by tick. 230.24, 230.30, 45. In a heartbeat, you nailed Tesla, right? Look at that run. Look at that green candle, that big old wick. This wasn't. I'm asking for some biotech stock. It's a thesis. It's a theme. It's an idea, right? The idea here was that Elon Musk isn't going away, and when he does, he's going to get back to basics with Tesla. And when he did, that's it. So it's thesis, theme, and make sure that you're doing the homework. And you can do that right here in Quasar Markets because we have all this data. I didn't make this data up. I didn't think about it out of the blue. I did my homework, and today it pays off.
And we do see advanced decline starting to try to pick back up nicely here, now up almost 1,000 again, Steve. So seeing some moves back into the market for sure here this morning, starting to pick up. Qs are now up 30 basis points, SPY only down 10 basis points. So everything moving up nicely.
Oh my God. Jim Cramer now tweeting out Mag 7 has been replaced by OK10.
I wonder what the other three are. Excuse me, sorry about that. SPY did get rejected by the short-term VWAP here, so that's be the one I would keep an eye on here. If you can get through that, you can move to the upside nicely.
I did hear that President Trump is buying a Tesla. He's going to put it in the White House lawn.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's not corporate sponsorship using the government. I'm not sure what is, but look. look here at 32.69 there on silver, right? You've got some pretty good buying opportunities here. Lots of things happening. 28.10 on the VIX. The VIX is dropping again. Try to test again, and boom, right back down. I'm not scared of the VIX. I think we go high. Oil over $67 a barrel. It told you what's going on. 231 now on Tesla. Did you get scared? I didn't. Right? We're still long. I think this is right. So I think that this is an opportunity to take advantage of things, right? So here we are.
Yeah, tick moving nicely to the upside. Still advanced decline now, back over 1,000. So we're definitely seeing the positivity jump in. It's not just creeping in; it's jumping in pretty quickly here.
Neat, and one of the things I want to see also is this 30-year. We talk about the 10-year all the time. And why do I talk about the 10-year all the time? Because the 10-year is for people who have a bit of money and they can buy a 15-year mortgage. They don't need a 30-year mortgage. But I want to see the 30-year because that's a lot of times is how they finance bigger picture things, what they call jumbo loans. Jumbo loans are anything over $500,000, and to buy a house, to buy commercial real estate. And as those rates really come down, I think you're going to see in the next level of things, right? That real estate will come back. People have asked me, hey, in this bad time, what should I be in? How should I go defensive? Well, you're a little late, right? Being defensive should have happened 2 weeks ago when Warren Buffett told you he was in cash. When we spoke on this show, he was in cash. Now you know what Warren's doing? Probably sitting back in Oracle, eating a Dairy Queen and chomping on some burgers and drinking a Diet Coke. And he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to buy some companies. I think I'm going to buy Apple. I think I'm going to buy things that I've been wanting to look at, right? We talked about that yesterday, things that he could possibly be looking at. He's going to go whale hunting. Here it is. We're down the highs of the day in Tesla. Yeah,
Q's moving to the highs of we're trying to move to the highs of the day. Q's coming down a little bit from there, but still up 35 basis points here. SPY sort of struggling to get across that short-term VWAP so far, so a little bit more of a struggle.
I still feel the same way. It was elevator. It was escalator up, elevator down. Right. It's going to take a little time because for some people clutching their charts. A lot of technicals were broken. Right. The 50s, the 200s, all of those things were broken, and I get it. I like that. To me, it's not about where it's about liquidity right now. Right. It's about thesis. It's about themes. It's about what they're thinking, right? How do they feel about the markets? They're not happy. I heard a great comment yesterday. About 70% of these new traders all came in the markets during COVID, right? So let's be honest. They've only got a few years under their belt, 3 to 4 years at the most, right? 3 to 4 years, I have underwear older than that, right? So you're not a trader. You're still learning, right? You're not a master trader after doing it for 2 or 3 years, right? I've been doing it 34, so I still don't feel like I'm a master trader, right? I can tell you that there are positive things, and I know that this market is a specific type of market that I actually like. I like picking bottoms. People don't normally like to do that because you're picking bottoms you can get hurt. Yeah, you can, but if you find out where liquidity is, a path of what? Path of least resistance, and we're seeing that today. We're seeing the path of least resistance is to the upside. The shorts, the FOMO is trying to hit one more time. They're trying to seep out that last sell, but they're going to find out. Honda, you know this better than anyone. Some of the best up days are down in bear markets. Right?
Absolutely.
All those shorts that are getting screwed in the markets. I would not be short right now. I just wouldn't be short. If you wanted to be short, you should have done it 2 weeks ago. Now is you might win a little bit, but you're not going to win big. You're just not. 28.02 now on the VIX. One more little drop under 28, and I think we'll be back at 25 with the VIX very short. There it is. There goes the Q. We're now seeing NGG, one of my CrowdStrike's up almost 4% here. Wow. This is what I said yesterday was grab your grocery bag day, and you have a great opportunity to do it, and here it is. I like it.
Qs are struggling here now at this 475 levels, the area to watch here. We can break above 475. We can see a continued breakout here, but we are seeing it get battled out in that zone right now. As Steve said, crowd up 3.97% here this morning. Nice one. Coinbase up 4.54%. So some of the big losers yesterday getting a nice little bounce back today.
You know what people are going to do during this bad time? Here's one for you. Netflix, 880. What'd I tell you? Anytime it's under 1,000, it's a buy. Look, I like Netflix here, right? People aren't stopping watching Netflix. There's 5 new movies just came out, right? They're not going to turn off their Netflix. They forgot about it. Oh, what's on Netflix today? Netflix and chill, right? Stocks don't go higher. They've got a lot more international movies. We talked about this. These are theses, and it's paying out, right? This is it. So, you know, I like this. I like this. This is going to be a good day. This is going to be a day that it explains a lot to people. Advanced decline now back to up 1,300. So you need to have the advanced decline line also on your chart so that you understand the overall sentiment of the market. The price of QQQs, the price of SPY, all of that is not indicative of the whole market. You need to understand what everything is doing, because remember, the SPY is only 500, S&P 500 is only 507 stocks, 508 now, right? So it's only a certain number of stocks, right? I want to know everything. I want to know, is there a theme within the themes? Is it what's pushing it up? Is it biotech? Is it consumer discretionary? Well, we know what today is. Today is buy the Mag 7 dip day, right? We're seeing that. So okay, so here it is. You know, one thing I think we could look at, and that is what Trump's theme is getting back to basics, and that's Intel, INTC. I think that's one that is interesting to me right now. They still do have the supply lines. I think Intel may get bought out. I think that there might be a play for Intel. That would be something that would be very interesting to me.
Well, there's been talk that a combination of Broadcom and
right, but I think it could be even bigger, a bigger deal than just that, right? I think it could be a huge deal where the government gets involved, a lot of big companies get involved, and I think this one could be one that it could get interesting to me. Why do I think that Intel is innovating? Somewhat, but they're not innovating on the level of Apple now, and definitely not NVIDIA level, right? But they have the ability to produce, right? Broadcom is sometimes hampered. TSMC, Taiwan Semi, is producing so much for us, right? Look at Taiwan Semi right now. They're doing quite well. But President Trump does not want Taiwan Semi to be producing our chips. He wants it done in the United States. He said that. Okay, let's take him at his word a little bit, right? Okay, Biden gave them money. Yep, they got that money got pulled back for the next, or should get pulled back. I'm not quite sure yet. But if that's the case, then you could see Intel being the winner here, and right. This could be one of those where it gets played out.
Yeah, chips. Big chip companies winning today. Little chip companies getting hit.
Yep. We're hearing reports that Trump is scheduled to meet with top business executives today.
Yeah.
Goldman. Yeah.
Tick is fairly neutral right now.
Hearing reports that Fidelity has added staking to its Ethereum ETF.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I see that. Bitcoin can't hold above 81 yet. Ethereum now challenging to go below 1,900. It was above. It broke below 2,000 for the first time just the other day for a while. So
233 now on Tesla.
I was going to mention all the Chinese names are up tremendously today. Baba up 5.49, Baidu up 4.13, JD is up 2.12. So we are seeing that across the board. Most of the Chinese companies are up. NIO up 10.54% here.
We're hearing some pretty big buying here in Walmart WMT. $90 calls for March 14th. Whew. There you go. WMT. What do they see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Look at that. $90 calls. I can totally see that. If this is 235, almost 235 now on Tesla, we nailed this morning. Now up almost 6% this morning, right?
Yeah,
this
Tesla's
is what I mean. Get that grocery bag ready. And if you listened to me this morning, you made good money today. So well done, everybody. And I'm getting comments now thanking me right now. I appreciate it. Look, it's about learning the markets and understanding what's going on, right? The algos are picking this stuff up now. They're understanding what's happening, and they're probably going to start. Well, they are dumping. Look at that. The VIX now 27.53. If we get below that 27 handle on the VIX, we could see this market take off today. And I mean take off like the market dumped yesterday. Like it could be. It could be one of those days. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Silver now 32.78 now. 30. We break 33 there. I'm still long, as most people know. I'm very long silver. I'm not going to stop buying silver at all. I think that they're highs a day now on Tesla, now up 6%. Yep. Congrats if you listened. Yeah.
Yeah, moving on.
Oh, we're hearing reports now that President Trump Turkey is cautiously optimistic about a deal between Syrian government and the SDF. Turkey's officials saying now. That is interesting to me. That could be very good. That would Syria really needs to see some
stability.
Stability, yes. That would help bring a little bit to the area. 236.18, 236 and a quarter now on Tesla. Congrats everybody if you bought Tesla for the win.
It just keeps spiking. This is definitely a squeeze.
27.24 in the VIX. I can't stress this enough. Have this stuff on your charts, and you'll understand where the market's going. If we get below 27, this thing could literally fall out of bed, and the markets could just explode to the upside.
And we see the run up 77 basis points, QQQ up 80 basis points, SPY positive about 18 basis points. Dow Jones is lagging a little bit here, down about 35 basis points so far. As Steve mentioned, VIX continuing to drop here, 27.25, down about 2% on the day. Bitcoin has got a nice little rebound here, back above 81 here to 81,394. So nice little move there. Gold seeing a little bit of love today, broke back above 2,900. DXY was tremendously down at lows here of 103.30 before. Still in that zone here, 103.40 now, so poking up a little bit here. But down really at the lows that Steve Flanagan talked about. Watch, you get much lower below that, you have problems where vacuums start to get swooping in the currency markets, and there would definitely be an explosive move to the downside on anything below 103.25.
Hearing reports now that Girl Scouts are being sued over alleged presence of heavy metals and pesticides in their cookies.
I just think they should get arrested for price gouging at $6 a box.
It's absolutely crazy, yes. But it goes for a good cause.
I agree, and we buy them every year. And I hope I wasn't eating too many heavy metals and pesticides.
I think we made a lot of zinc. I think over the years. Look at that, 27.28 in the VIX. If we have one more drop in the VIX below 27 handle, this could be over for the selling. And I think
we're seeing more selling pick up though. Tick has picked up to negative 350 or so. So
I'm not too scared here a little bit. Yeah. Just need another drop here in the VIX, and I think we go. I think another drop in the VIX, and it just really takes off.
See a little bit of a pullback on the Qs. That 475 area has been the spot that it's sort of been battling in here. That mid 475 area. Did try to move it, break across it twice, but it hasn't been able to get and hold above that 475 so far. That's the first spot to keep an eye on here. If we can hold above that. As Steve talked about, Mag 7, 5 of the 7 now on the upside. Google's gone negative here. Apple getting hit pretty hard here, down another 2% here today.
Yeah. Yep.
Again, a lot of the news on Apple was that their new AI assistant not that great.
I said that. How long have we been saying that, right? Apple Intelligence, what's that, right? Yep. But I think what they're doing is smart. That they're going to the Geminis. They're going to Chat GPTs and integrating the people that have actually built it. I think that's good.
Right.
They should work on what they know best, and they're doing that, right? Their own software, their own hardware, building that ecosystem out. I think that's smart, and I like Apple for what they're doing here. So I would not berate Apple over their AI. Sorry, it's not Apple Intelligence. It's silly. But I would say that, you know, you've got a good opportunity here to see Apple really pushing the envelope. Now, one of the things that I've heard about this new software, and I think it's great because I have one, is that they're going to push to a more of an Apple Vision Pro version of their Apple software, the OS, right? That it's going to be more interactive, and they are going to a wearable version of Vision, right? Which is my vision, right? Everything's gonna be wearable. People don't want to stick a phone to their head. They're tired of all of that, and tired of looking down. When I'm at a dinner and I'm trying to, you know, people look at me like, oh, what, you know, you're having dinner. You shouldn't be off your phone? No, it doesn't work that way. I work, right? People still have to have lives, right? So I think it's wearables, and I think Apple's going that direction, and I think it's smart. So I think you're going to see in the next. I think we need to see Apple's vision.
No, all puns intended.
All puns intended. But once we see that, I think Apple's going to be a good buy, and I think you're going to see massive corporations buy Apple stock, right? But I will say this much: Johnny Ive is working on a new phone, and I think that is interesting. Can that be a competitor to Apple's phone? I don't know yet, but it is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Johnny Ives was pretty much the reason that we have the way we have.
Tick still going negative here, Steve. So we're seeing some sell-off here as we get towards the 10 o'clock hour. Tick negative 400. Advanced declines come back down to about 500. Apple, like we said, continuing to slide down here. If we look at the rest of the Mag 7, Tesla 231.57. Spiked up as high as 236 here before pulling back a little bit, but we are seeing a little bit of a sell-off here. NVIDIA did break 110, now is back at 109.86, so a little bit of some profit taking here. Early morning winners, not too surprising to see people take profit if they got in. Saw a nice 6-7% move to the upside on Tesla. You would want to take that profit, so not surprising to see that at all. Bitcoin back, can't hold 81 right now. That's sort of the frustrating level, 81,000.
I mean, I think with Bitcoin, you pull up a linear regression chart there. I have a 1 hour linear regression chart, and it's dead on. For me, I'm watching it from the 1 hour perspective, and I think that's where it's at. And then, yeah, look at that. It's deadly. Linear regression is deadly. So I get the levels, and I'm, as you know, I love my charts. I don't per clutch them though, but I will say that the linear regression has been very strong, and I think the algos are also mimicking that linear regression. I saw a lot of that happening. That linear regression was being put on a lot of algo charts. I heard that again. I've talked to a lot of algo developers, and they're all saying the same thing. So for me, I think the
basis of it, VWAP in the middle basically, and
correct.
They buy halfway through.
Yeah, correct.
Consolidates their buys. WTI up at 66.57 here, so it is up 1.7% here. VIX is back right close to the 28 level, so we weren't able to get that down to the level Steve wanted to see us take off. Tick is still negative 300 right now. Advanced decline moving back down to 368. So we are seeing some profit taking, most of that across the Dow Jones and the SPY. Dow Jones down 70 basis points right now. SPY down around 15 basis points. QQQ holding up at 270, not quite 275 anymore, so it did lose that handle. So we are starting to see a little bit of a slide off here. We'll see if we can get some strength returning here in the markets. Take a look and see what the biggest pumpers are.
Back above 81,000 there.
So some of the winners here today: Guardian Health up 9.81%, Southwest Airlines up 30.82%, Root Inc. up 8.67%, and Apple Oven up 8.42%. JetBlue also getting some love today, up 7.8% here. EchoStar that I was talking about there, that satellite company, up 6.65% here this morning. And then some of the crypto names that had been beaten up pretty badly yesterday, from Robinhood up 5.81%, Coinbase up 5.79%, Core Scientific, a Bitcoin mining company, up 5.74%. Seeing Billy Bibby with a nice little move to the upside here, 5.5%, self-driving Chinese name. On the other side of that, on the laggards for the day so far, Teradyne down 15.14%, Viking Therapeutics down 7.92%, and we talked about Verizon earlier, down 7.7%. Seeing Expedia get hit here, also 6.16%. I believe they had earnings this morning. So if I had to guess, that is on their results. Moderna down 6.67% too. Again, here.
Well, when you have the head of the vaccine saying vaccines suck, that's a problem, right? Moderna, that's what they do, right? So
seeing Avis and Budget down 4.24% here this morning. Also getting hit pretty hard.
JOLTS numbers just coming out now. Job openings for labor turnover survey coming in for January, coming in at 7.774 million there. We were expecting 7.6 million. So job openings actually a little bit lower than expected here.
See if that's moving that needle at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Moving to the upside. So that news has tick moving to the upside.
More pressure on the Fed to lower rates. I don't know how else to tell them. They need to lower rates. If we're not, we're gonna slip into recession pretty quickly, and everybody knows that. You need to lower rates. We need to hit fast. You're seeing the Nasdaq now popping on those numbers. 230. 236 coming up on Tesla again, right?
Momentum coming right back in after 10 o'clock. So once those sort of early morning volatility players are getting out of the market seems to want to move up here, as Steve has mentioned. NVIDIA back above 110 here. Tesla above 235. Again, if you listened to Steve this morning, you nailed that Tesla call. And the Mag 7 in general, outside of Apple,
just dropped below 2705. Right there it is. For those of you who bought puts on the VIX here, you're a happy camper this morning right now. Could be even better here.
Yep, as you mentioned, any break below 27 there could give you the run to the upside, similar to yesterday's downside. As Steve mentioned earlier, also some of the biggest rip days are in down markets, so do keep that in mind. Don't be afraid if you see a breakout that it could actually be a breakout today. You know, these are the type of days that it happens when you least expect it. You know, hopefully the White House stays out of the markets today for at least a few hours, gives us some room to run here. But as we are going to take it out here,
well, you just heard, unfortunately, President Trump now has instructed the Secretary of Commerce to add an additional 25% tariff to 50% tariff on all steel and aluminum coming into the United States from Canada.
And VIX spikes to 27.54 on that news, 64, 27.64.
Not liking that news at all.
That's been the problem here, unfortunately. We do have a busy day at Quasar Markets today. Yesterday, with X being down, we got a bunch of stuff going up for you today at 11:30 here. We're going to have, first we're going to have Dr. Alan Ellman's segment on that he did yesterday go out live today. Then we have Agnieszka Wood's segment on her trading mindset moment, talking about the 15 psychological hurdles that you need to get over to become a successful trader. That's going to be on after that. Then at 11:30, we have Jeremy Vreeland with the watch list. I'll actually be going on with that with him. And then at 1 o'clock, we have Prosper Trading coming on. And then at 2 o'clock, we have Mark Petrino, CMT, in to look at all the charts with us this afternoon. So busy day for Quasar Markets. Make sure you're tuning in. BigBeat, what are your final words of the day here?
I mean, I've said this a million times. You don't pearl clutch your charts, because as soon as some news comes in, the president says something, it just messes up your day. And this is it, right? as soon as everything's going well and things look the right way, and all of a sudden we're going to double tariffs at 50% on steel and aluminum, and our best trading partner in the
VIX
world.
just went to 28.45 here. QQQ's gone negative now. SPY down 50 basis points. And like Steve said,
Trump has
Steve
threatened now to shut down the Canadian car industry permanently.
Yeah, this is, God, man. And as Steve said, like, again, you got to listen to Big Beat when he tells you this stuff. These charts are giving you what historically has happened at levels. But I will tell you, we've never had a president tweet and do the things that our president's doing now that override. And I've been saying it for a month.
President Trump says he will shortly be declaring a national emergency on electricity.
Oh, God. Tweet analysis definitely is more important than technical analysis in today's markets. So, keep your head on a swivel, be watching the news. As Steve said, make sure you have the VIX on your chart, on your watch list. Make sure you have the DXY on your watch list, right?
Yeah, because right now the loonie is falling, right? The loonie is getting crushed right now.
So to show you what Steve's talking about here is I keep up on mine all the time. Right here, I can come and see. Look at that, 32. This move to the upside, USD Canada. You can see it spiking here to 144.78, 144.79. Money moves first. You watch this. Look at that spike here on the short-term chart. President Trump announces that, and this is what happens to your chart, right, Steve? I mean, all you gotta do is look at that.
This is not what I would consider normal speech out of a White House. This is a little bit disheartening in a lot of ways. It's going to get a lot. It's going to get a lot worse. I mean,
but that's why you got to keep these things on your charts, everybody. Make sure you have advanced decline on there. You want to see what's going on. Again, we had seen a pretty positive day. Now you can tell by looking at advanced decline moving negative 500 that's probably not following through, combined with a negative tick at 42 and the VIX at 28.46. So that gives you sort of a roadmap. As Steve would say, those three things tell you everything you need to know for today. It was completely different just 2 minutes ago. So it shows you, make sure you're keeping an eye on everything in the markets, and tweet analysis is important too. We will see you back here again very shortly, everybody. Thank you so much.